Hi lovelies, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name is Alexa and this is the Library of Alexa. In this video I want to share my TBR list so far of 2022. Now before we get started, you might want to get some snacks and some water. Stay hydrated everyone. Right in the beginning I just want to say that these three books are Hungarian, but as you can see I made a little note. You can actually find these in English as well. Also with these I'm not going to go into too depth with, and so with the others maybe only two books I will go more detail into, not the full thing but just a bit, so you know what's actually happening. So let's actually get started. The first book that I have is City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. It's basically about this girl Clary who is 15 at the time and her life is about to change upside down most likely. I have not read the book obviously because it's on my TBR, but I did see the movie of Mortal Instruments and I did see the show of Shadowhunters multiple times. It's basically about Clary who witnesses what looks like to be a murder, and that's exactly the moment when her life changes upside down. So that's the first book. It's quite thick, so just get ready for that, and it has multiple other books as well. The next book I have is Hex Hall. It is a school about spirits. The whole it has three books. It's literally called School Spirits. So it's about this girl Sophie who gets sent to this boarding school as soon as she finds out she's a witch, and then other things like mysterious things start happening in this boarding school, but she wants to find out what's going on, so she starts to wander off and trying to solve this mystery. It also has three other books like I mentioned. I did start to read it but I found it kind of slow, so I had to put it aside, but I will pick it up eventually, hopefully like soon, because it is actually like not even a big book as you can see. So if I get really into it then I can read it within a day, more or less likely. The third book is the third book of the Fallen series. This is Passion. Oh sorry, I did not say Hex Hall is by Rachel Hawkins if you want to check it out. Passion is by Lauren Kate. This altogether has 5 books in the series. I finished reading the first and second book. I did watch the movie a couple times. I loved the movie, although the book was a slightly bit better as expected. This is about fallen angels from heaven fighting their battle to choose between forces of hell and heaven. The next books that I will be showing are all in English now, so I don't really need notes for that. So the first book that I want to show is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. It's the first book of the Folk Ear series. It also has 3 books. The second book is The Wicked King, and then the third book is Queen of Nothing. I've seen this so many times around Instagram, YouTube and everywhere, and I have not read it yet, which is kind of a shame, but hopefully soon I can get through all these books, especially if I want a quick read. People say to go read Cruel Prince as it is a pretty quick read, so that's exactly what I'm going to do if I need a quick read. Next book is quite a big series. It has 8 books in total and it's by Sarah J Maas, which is Throne of Glass. Yeah, I have not read this yet either. I am curious about all these obviously because it is on my TBR for a specific reason. I feel like everyone knows this, but it's basically about this 8-year-old girl who's a trained assassin, but she is serving for life. So she's literally being sentenced for life because, well, she had assassinated multiple people, like thousands of people. So now she's serving for life. It sounds actually interesting. I don't want to read a book because I feel like that would just spoil it, but just one sentence could not hurt. But yeah, young Captain Westfall offers her a deal, her freedom in return for one huge sacrifice. Celine must represent the prince in a to the death tournament, fighting the most gifted thieves and assassins in the land. I mean, for me that sentence in general just already sounds interesting. I recommend it especially because I read 2 books of Sarah J Maas so far and I've really enjoyed her other 2 books which I read. The the most recent book that I read by her was House of Earth and Blood, and then before that I just read Rose of Court and Glad, A Court of Thorns and Roses. Sorry, I'm getting tired. This is my like 4th time filming this. The next book that I have is the 2nd book of the Cinder series, the Lunar Chronicles. It is called Scarlet. I don't really want to say too much, to be honest, because I really don't want to spoil any of it, and I'm pretty sure you guys have seen these. It's been out for a long time. I did not read for quite some time actually, but this was always on my TBR for a long time, so it was about time. When I read the first book, I could not put it down. I was staying up until 1 just to finish it. It took me about like 2 to 3 days just to finish that first book. It's because I loved it. Like when I was not at home able to read, I was listening to it on audio book because I was just obsessed with it. The story in itself just already had me from the beginning really, and I do rather love a good retelling. So also this is by Marissa Mayer. The 4th book, These Violent Delights by Chloe Gong. I've seen it go around a lot of places. It's sort of a Romeo and Juliet retelling actually. I'm just, like I mentioned, I love retellings, so like why not? But no, that's not the only reason. I would say because of the cover, but I don't really, I'm not really the person who judges a book by its cover, but I just love the fact that it's sort of a Romeo and Juliet retelling. It's classic, so let's see what Chloe brought up for it, you know? The next book is A Deadly Education by Naomi Novik. Actually, it's Dark School of Magic. So in this one, you have obviously a school for witches. This school is unlike probably ever seen. So witches learning without teachers, no holidays, no breaks really, and every year, mostly likely every year, there is a student who has to win or like beat everyone and not fail the exams. If you fail the exams, you basically die, and you actually have to avoid that. For this one, I'm just gonna read the back just for like a little explanation. Enter a school of magic unlike any you have ever encountered. There are no teachers, no holidays, friendships are purely strategic, and the odds of survival are never equal. Once you're inside, there are only 2 ways out. You graduate or you die. So like I said, you either die or you pass. So basically you graduate. Al Higgins is unfairly prepared for the school's many dangers. She may be without allies, but she possesses a dark power strong enough to level mountains and wipe out untold millions. Never mind easily destroy the countless monsters that prowl the school. Except she might accidentally kill all the other students too. So Al is trying her hardest not to use it. That is, unless she has no other choice. I mean, who doesn't want to read this at this point? And there is another book, The Lost Graduate. Like I said, I love fantasy books, so I just can't wait to dig into this. Now this one, I'm pretty sure everyone has probably read it, seen it. It's been going around for a while, and it is a Hades retelling by Scholar St. Clair. A Touch of Darkness. I don't really know what to say about this, to be honest. I don't want to always repeat myself because it is a retelling. Who doesn't love a retelling, you know? And it does seem kind of like a quick read, so this might just be my next read. Who knows? One of my friends mentioned this book to me, and then I went into the bookstore. I asked the girl over there, what would you recommend? The book that she said is The Near Rich by Squab. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that name. These are the truths that Lexi has heard all her life. But when an actual stranger, a boy who seems to fade like smoke, appears outside her home on the moor at the night, she knows that at least one of these sayings is no longer true. I mean, to me, it sounds like a mystery. I like a mystery, fantasy, witches, all that. Give it to me, you know. These have been sitting on my shelf for like a month, but on my defense, I was struggling to House of Earth and Blood just because for me it was a pretty big book, but I don't regret it because I did like it, and I want to get the second book as soon as I can. Yeah, next books are going to be from a one-time book subscription that I did, and one of the books is The Gypsy Goddess. It's a fiction. Also, one thing, I don't think I ever read a fiction or a horror book, so that's like one of my goals for 2022, to read more genres that I have not tried before, or I don't normally read, like romance. I like romance, but I'm mainly stuck with fantasy books, so that's one of my goals to try. Yeah, and then the next book is called Domina by Alice Hilton, and it turns out this is actually a book series or a duology. No, I believe this is a duology actually, and I did not know, so I don't think I'm gonna read until I have the first book. I don't think it's connected. I think it's better safe than sorry, or I just read the first, like this book, and we'll see if I like the other, if I would like to get the other one or not. And back to The Gypsy Goddess, it is by Mina Kandazami. When women take a protest, there is no looking back. So this one is about women protesting for their rights, to be honest, and it takes place in Tamil Nadu. So it's already a new thing for me because I don't normally read like fiction, like I said, or like protest and all that. So I am excited to see how I feel about this. I will actually also have an honest review of all these on my Instagram, which you can find in the description below. Next two books, I'm just gonna show them together because it's a book series and I have all two. I read the first book of the Grishaverse, which is Shadow and Bone. This is the second book, which is Siege and Storm, and the third book is Rain and Rising by Lee Bardugo. I really love the covers. That's what I'm gonna say. I love the covers. I don't know how much I actually liked the first book. I'm not saying I didn't like it, because I did, but it was just not like in a top for me. I was having kind of a hard time because it was a surprising turn at some point, but then you also kind of expected it to go kind of the way it did, or at least I expected it. But other than that, it was quite an alright book. I don't regret it, and I'm curious to see what these two brings, and then I will watch the show as well. The next book is also by Lee Bardugo. This was actually a gift from Bookstagram friend Amy. If you're watching this, I'm sorry, I still have not gone around, but I am definitely excited about this. Actually, this is one of the main reasons why I got these two to read, because it is using characters from the Shadow and Bone trilogy, so I would think it makes more sense to read these two first and then read this. Yeah, it is a duology. This is Six of Crows, and the second book is Crooked Kingdom. I am excited about this a bit more than I was with Shadow and Bone. I don't really know why, it's just I am. I think this also do have to do with the front cover, because okay, like how pretty though, like that's just pretty. I like the front cover. Anyhow, the next one I have is The Hating Game. I started reading this on my Kindle first, but then I was like, no, I need a physical copy because I just kind of like physical copies more. I started reading it. I got up to chapter maybe 2 or 3, but then I got impatient and then I just had to go and watch the movie. But it's okay because I have the audiobook on my phone, so when I'm cleaning, washing dishes or anything, I'm just listening to the audiobook of this. I'm honestly enjoying it, and when it comes to romance or any kind of books like that, I love enemies to lovers. I just love to see the connection and just be like, okay, when the heck are you gonna do something about it? I'm actually currently reading The Love Hypothesis, like I mentioned in my first video. I just got to chapter 10 and I'm already like, okay, so you admitted, well, you didn't admit to yourself that you are in love, but you're feeling it. So can you just do something about it? Like, it just makes me excited and just really curious to see how the two characters' relation develop and where it goes. So anyhow, I've seen this go around a lot even without having the picture over here, which just ruins the whole book. But anyway, I was actually picturing the character Lucinda as Lucy Hill, because kind of who wouldn't? Well, probably lots of people. I recommend these books, to be honest. The next book, I was looking for this everywhere. I was buying this off for so long, and then I just went into Waterstones and I saw it, and I was like, you are coming with me. And that book is The Ex-Hex. Again, which is almost enemies to lovers, but not really. Poison, yes. Saving people and world, absolutely. The Hating Game is by Sally Throne, and The Ex-Hex is by Erin Sterling. So poison, saving people, saving the same people you poisoned. Read it. The next book is Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I've been wanting to read this so long, since it's on my shelf, since I bought it. I did see people post about it while they were crying and everything. Kind of makes me put it off for a bit longer, but at the same time, I'm curious and I want to see what the big hype is about with Colleen Hoover books. Is it potentially my next book? Even though I have not read any of her books yet, I already know and told a couple of my friends that I want to collect all of her books, literally all of her books. And yeah, I'm just excited to read this. The next book is Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. It is a trilogy. I actually seen it with one of my friends, Amy. She didn't make me get it, but it just sounded so intriguing, and I'm pretty sure this is also a retelling kind of thing. I'm just sucker for it. Don't come at me. I'm just loving the retellings. And then the last three is actually pretty much my newest books that I got, and also seen these a lot going around. The first book is, oh, also I did read one book, which was the first book of the Off Campus by Al Kennedy. So I went and got the Good Girl Complex, and I literally loved the edges. I did not know that the edges were sprayed, and it just looks so beautiful, and I'm excited to read this. But I'm thinking I might save this for summer, just because like the cover is so like summery, and the story is actually like really summery, so might be my summer read. The last two books is Crave by Tracy Wolf. For some reason, the cover and like the whole book is just giving me a Twilight vibe, and I did watch Twilight at least 100 times in my whole life. Okay, actually even more. I can literally just sit in the morning and just watch the whole movies all day long. It is quite a thick book. Am I ready for it? Probably no, maybe, but I am curious. Also, if you can see that, yeah, I just wanted to zoom in. If you see that bend, the reason why I bought it like this, even though I did not want it to, but this was the last book and I just could not contain myself anymore. Had to go and get this, and I'm excited. The last book is the first book of Serpent and Dove. Also don't really know what to say about this, other than the cover is beautiful. I really like the colors. Like, just take a moment for that. And it is by Shelby Marin. It's actually quite interesting because it is a witch and a witch hunter who has to work together, and who knows what drama can come up, what the storyline could be. So this is gonna be intriguing, and I'm just excited to see how this story goes. Oh, also this is written in two-person, prose, if that's how you say it. So like it's two persons point of view basically. It just sounds interesting to see both of the people's view on the whole situation. So I'm just excited about these a lot. That's all I have for today as a physical books. I still have a couple on my Kindle, but that's just long. Yeah, so that's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm sorry for being kind of all over the place. This was seriously about the fourth time that I had to film this whole thing. Excuse my tiredness, me forgetting to read some of the names that it was written by. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Hope you stayed till the end and have a lovely evening. Hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much. Bye.